Welcome back, everybody. This is M-Dog, and we are fishing at Bear Lake today in Russian Fishing 4. If you've been around a while, you may remember that in the month of July, I tend to take some time off, and that is indeed happening this year as well. I am going to be leaving actually later today. We have a couple of weeks where the family we get away for about a week, so I'll be gone these next few days, and then a couple of weeks from now we go on another trip. So it's really good summer vacation family time, but it will mean that I'll be away from streaming and YouTube videos, at least for the next few days. So my schedule will be a little wonky. This coming weekend, so basically today is Monday, July 5th. Either Friday night or more likely Saturday evening this coming weekend, I'll probably be back around. And then here for another week, and then we'll leave again. So just a heads up on that. For what that's worth, which may not be very much, but I thought I'd mention it. We're here at 4450, which is E5. I have not gotten to fish a lot lately, as I've had a lot of work stuff going on. Some longer shifts crammed into shorter amounts of time in preparation for vacation. But as I've been looking around and hearing about spots, one of the spots that seem like it might be doing pretty well is this spot here at Bear, 4450. If you fished at Bear a lot, this is, of course, one of the areas that does get used quite a bit. I would say this spot and then this spot that's, over here near camp in E4 or whatever. Possibly over here. Actually, maybe it's over here. No, I think it's here. I can't remember. Somewhere in these two squares, possibly both. And then there's a couple spots down here. But 4450 is certainly one of the more well-traveled spots at Bear. And we are, of course, using the garlic and mussels approach. And I'm using that based on what I'm seeing. Again, when I look at the usual resources to kind of see what's working. I was going to go ahead and make up some more PVA just so we have some. The PVA I'm using right now is sort of leftover, so let's make up some new stuff. Thankfully, mussel does have plenty of PVA, especially if you throw some boilies in there. You could also go with straight zebra mussels as your fourth, but for this mix, we're going to put the crushed up boilies in there. But you've got 3, 6, and 8, and then you can go crab and mussel or just regular mussel sauce for the attractant. But pretty easy on the garlic and mussel PVA combinations. Really the only option is what do you want to do with that fourth additive, which I guess you could do nothing. You could leave it off and just make 50 pieces. But I think putting a few crushed up boilies is probably fine. So we'll give this a try. Hopefully we will get some pretty decent bite rate through the evening and then through the sun coming up morning part of the day. For now, I've kind of got these three spread out just a little bit, with one kind of over here, one just past where you start to see the green stuff, and then one a little bit more towards the middle. It looks like we are getting nibbles on both the first and third line. But yeah, we're using our Megaras here. 31.7 strength liter lead core, 20 size boilies. As always with Bear, if you want to increase your bite rate, just go to 16 boilies. If I did that, I think I would probably go to a little bit cheaper PVA. If nothing else, at least the 10 gram bags. We are using mussel corn with mussel dip. Oh, and I guess for what it's worth, this is the current PVA I'm using, which is a little different than what we're about to put on there. It's got the crab and mussel attractant instead of just mussel, and then it also has king crab feed pellets. So as you can tell, this is, I mean, you may know this, but this is more of a crab, I mean, a mussel PVA that I've used at Amber. I have a feeling what we just made up might be a little better for this spot here at Bear. So once we get to overnight and we know it's going to be a little slower anyway, we'll switch it out for what will hopefully be a little bit more ideal mix. But let's go to weeklies and see if, yeah, there you go. Excuse me, just had a ultimate sneeze there. So even the black carp, I don't know how common they are. This is the other thing though. All of a sudden Bear is producing some nice common barbel. This is probably one of the reasons why I wanted to come try this spot. See if we do see any common barbel come out. So no big commons from Bear, at least not big enough to show up on that list. What about the grass carp? Yeah, it looks like they are coming in on garlic and mussels as well, but not just garlic and mussels. Black currant. I think black currant has been really good too. In fact, maybe, yeah, a little better on golden tench. So I don't know if that's a different spot, but that's always interesting. I really enjoy, so the leathers are going for this as well. I always enjoy when there's a spot where you can catch both carp and golden tench occasionally. And that is certainly, in that situation, that is certainly motivation to use smaller boilie size. It's early in our testing here, but so far we've gotten both of our fish off of the rightmost line, which is a slightly different location. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. 2 mirrors. So we're going to have what? Mirrors, leathers, maybe occasional commons, occasional black carp, occasional grass carp, occasional barbel. That's my best guess. I will have my laptop with me and some downtime on vacation, so it's possible that you'll see me around in-game if you're in our in-game chat occasionally, but there's usually enough activities and stuff going on that I don't end up logging in that much during these weeks off. Let's see if any of the weekly barbel are on 16 size boilies. As we sit here and stare at our rods, they're really not. There is a server restart tonight. But it appears to be a short one, so it likely would not involve fish migration or a reset of migration or whatever that process is. Just a little warmer today. I tested this spot briefly yesterday, and I think it was more like 21, 22. And the spot seemed to be like popping off. So I don't know if that's the difference. But it does seem a little slower at the moment. We'll give it a little bit of time though. I was trying to see if there's any new information today. We could always adjust on the fly if we have to. Looks like some big leather carp are possible in this spot. Yeah, and I'm starting to see more and more black currant stuff, but the other thing you see right now is a lot of people fishing at 124 at amber. Which is also interesting. I almost tried that one, but the barbel pushed me over the edge, wanting to see what this spot would be like. Oh yeah, it looks like yesterday Glock did have a nice barbel here. As many of the folks on VK have talked about, looks like Glock got one as well on this very setup, although his PVA is pretty different. That's interesting. Yeah, this just seems too slow, doesn't it? So it looks like black currant stuff in this spot is doing a little better job of catching commons and common trophies being possible from what I'm seeing. But it looks like what we've got in the garlic and mussels is still doing pretty good on the common barbel. We still have a chance here before overnight to maybe get something. Oh, and then maybe we'll mix it up a little bit. Let's see if I can find that PVA that Glock was using. Just very different. All right, here's someone else called a common barbel trophy, and they're actually using PVA very similar to ours, except they do use the zebra mussels instead of the crushed boilies. So that gives me a little bit more confidence about the PVA that we made up. We're probably fine with that. I think we do want to go ahead and switch to it though. So let's try, just for a bit, let's try 16 and the new PVA we made up. So we've got 16 size boilies on this rod, so you expect this bite rate to be a little better. We will keep the 20 on the other two. We might as well go ahead and switch out the PVAs though. From everything I'm seeing, it looks like 20 size boilies is the way to go for best chance of those barbel trophies, but at Bear, it's always worth to me at least giving it a try to see what might happen with 16 boilies in terms of the bite rate. Sometimes the silver can be better by catching lots of, of volume fishing. Again, I probably, if you were going to go 16 boilies, especially on all three, I think I'd probably use a 10-gram bag because it does often mean smaller fish, but this was just, compared to my brief testing yesterday, this has just been a lot slower. So I figure we might as well start catching a couple fish, at least on one rod. And we'll try to have some patience as well, because you never know, we might get some decent fish in the morning. That's going to be the first rod again, isn't it? It's amazing how much of a difference those 16 boilies make in terms of bite rate. But we are now catching size fish that you don't necessarily want to catch. 2 juveniles right in a row. I was trying to pull up the forums to see if there's any new interesting information. We have the server restart tonight, of course. I don't think there was any. Sometimes they clarify no fish migration, or there will be fish migration reset or whatever, but it's not even mentioned. But it does say it will only be down for 2 hours, so my best guess would be no, but we'll see. kind of interesting to look at the trophies page on the website and the forum as well. Sometimes there's interesting stuff there. So let's see. Yeah, here's a post about this very spot that we're in. Looks like their trophy came in at 5 a.m. It's 11.7 degrees Celsius and raining. So that's some good info. They were, in fact, using this very setup we're using. And they weren't using PVA. They had spod, and their spod mix was a little different. It has some Atlantic salmon pellets and some stuff like that on there, but not too drastic. So I'm thinking around 3 a.m. maybe we want to get that first rod. Let's get 20 size boilies back on there, and let's hope we get lucky on a nice barbel first thing in the morning. So remember, this is the smaller size boilies. That's a decent one, especially since we had 16s on there. But we are going to go back to 20. And hope that we will get something nice very soon. Somebody level 14 caught a 6 kilo bream last night, apparently. That's pretty exciting. Okay, here comes our first morning nibble here. Wonder if this will be a barbel or just a really small carp. We have just really been, first of all, we haven't been catching a lot, but what we are catching are these kind of small mirror carp. A lot of them. But we'll give it a little bit more time here. I must say, overall, I've been disappointed in this spot. I mean, we could still catch a really nice fish, and we may have just had some unlucky, unfortunate, picked the wrong day to come try it. Like I said, it was definitely better here when I tested it yesterday. But I don't know if it was weather related or some other factor. Could just be RNG. Yeah, I only got 2 streams in this past week when I normally get at least 3. And then I'm gone this coming week. Summers are like this for me, though. There are more interruptions during the summer, more little trips and stuff we go on, or running down to the Braves game some. So, all right. Largest fish of the day, I think. Not a big barbel, though. A reasonable common carp. You know, if I had time today, which I don't, because I've got to get moving here shortly, but if I had time today, I would reset bear and then try the black currant stuff. Wondering if that's a little better at this point. Well, as the bites are coming in here, obviously this morning bite time is appears to be when we're gonna get the decent fish out of this spot. This may just be a little too big to be a barbel. I'd love to see a big trophy barbel pop out, but I'm just not sure that there's much chance this is it. It's going to be another mirror, huh? Yeah, so far I would say the barbel must be like off catch or something. I mean, again, maybe they're not as active at the moment as they have been this week, but and sometimes that's the way it is with barbel. In fact, a lot of times it is that way, especially at bear. Even when people are catching them, they're not necessarily catching a lot, but sometimes nice ones will just come out if you got the right baits in. Come on, barbel. Bah. It is a leather, though. It's our first leather, isn't it? It is our first leather. Middle rod, I think. heavy again. Doesn't feel like a barbel. Common. The not so common common. Very slow overall. We'll wait till about 10 a.m., but let's just see kind of where we're at. 40 minutes almost. Yeah, it's going to be very, very slow. I can tell you right now, I think we would make more silver, 137 silver. I think we would make more silver on black currant stuff right now. The black currant approach looks like people are using the smaller boilies. You're possibly getting golden tench. You're probably just volume catfishing though. I'm guessing that we would do better in this spot right now. Although, do we have a trophy barbel at Bear? We do not. So, I mean, it's almost worth it just for that. So many trophy barbels are coming out here that if you don't have one, it may just be worth sitting and, you know, giving it 2 or 3 hours, seeing if it happens. They are definitely coming out with some regularity on the 20 size boilies and corn. So I wish we would just see one though, even if it's a small one, just to kind of confirm that they're here. Oh, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. So that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I just wish if it would be so cool if they were coming out a little more frequently, at least for me at the moment. Again, this could be weather. It could just be RNG. I mean, a lot of people have been fishing this spot with this bait. So it's obviously pretty good. And if you can get a few barbel, I mean, that's going to, if you get a, 3 to 4 or 5 barbel per hour, and they're decent size like that one, it's going to greatly increase the amount of silver you're making. If you mix that in with the carp. Barbel actually pretty nice. They add up well. They complement carp really well in terms of helping your silver per hour turn out to be pretty good. So there's another common carp. And maybe this spot is just going to be better during the day than it was. I mean, obviously a lot of this time we've been fishing was at night, although we did see both the early or late afternoon, early evening time frame, and now we've gone through the early morning, which typically are your best 2 times for carp. The day may be fairly steady, but the nice ones usually come out, for me at least, in the morning or evening. So in some ways it's been disappointing. In some ways, now that we've gotten a barbel and gotten a little better bite rate recently, it's getting a little better. But again, it could just be RNG or weather. Who knows? If you all have been fishing a lot lately or have been trying this spot out a good bit, you'll probably be able to give me some good reports on how it's been going. But I do think we will go ahead and wrap this up here. I need to get this video uploading and work on getting packed and everything. So let's just see what the final was, and then I will have to say adios. We didn't quite make it an hour. A little under 45 minutes. We did get up to 160 silver, though. This little barbel, 15 silver. Pretty nice. Fourth most, high-paying fish that we caught. So we got up to 160. It looks like we might hit 200 silver in this hour on this spot, which is not great, but it's also not terrible. And with some variance, again, this spot still may be worth fishing. I think using smaller boilies would obviously be a little more exciting in terms of catch rate. You might also still catch enough fish to make it worthwhile. I think changing to black currant approach might be the way to go right now, though, unless you really want to get that barbel trophy. If you want the barbel trophy, then you just kind of have to wait for it. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Wanted to at least get one more video made before heading out for a few days, but hope you all have a really good week. Tight lines. Thank you for the well wishes in chat today. And yeah, I will see you soon. Peace out, everybody.